कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। बोलिए कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 Let us chant 7th mantra, 7th verse onwards, or 9th verse, 7th chapter. Punyo gandhav pruthivyam cha. Punyo gandhav pruthivyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विद्धि पार्थ सनातनं बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहं balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. Bhagwan is elaborating one concept that he mentioned previously. Arjuna, I alone appear as all. In this universe, if you really look into the essence, you will find nothing but God. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Other than me, there is nothing over here. I am that invisible thread which holds all beads together. Just like the thread is invisible and it holds all beads together, I am that thread which holds this whole universe together. That is Bhagwan's main message. Now, to see Bhagwan as everything is difficult, he is pointing out specific vibhutis, specific glories which we can hold on to and meditate upon God using those supports. So in the last class we had seen, Bhagwan points out, I am the fragrance in the earth. Punyo gandha pruthivyam. Just like the fragrance pervades the earth, God pervades creation. Then when it comes to fire, Vibhavasau, he says, I am the light in the fire. Minus light, fire is not fire at all. If you can come in between, you can occupy this also, and there is space in the front. I should be able to see you, you should be able to see me. Okay, if you sit behind, I can't see. Please come on this side, and if there are chairs, please to occupy them. In human beings, Bhagwan said, I am life. I am the longevity in human beings. Then he said, if you see an austere person, I am the austerity in the austere. This is the verse we had taken yesterday for meditation in the morning class when we do. Because unless we hold on to these supports and think about God through these supports, the full import of this verse is not achieved. Then he continued, he said, not one or two things have emerged from me. Everything in this universe has emerged from me. I am the primordial seed. I am the eternal seed of this whole universe. So you see the tree, seed is unseen. In the same way we see the creation, but God is unseen. Then he said, in the intelligent people, I am the intelligence, the decision-making ability that I am. And in those who are strong, I am the strength in them. But what kind of strength? Kama raga vivarjitam. That strength which is not born out of desire, that strength which is not born out of attachment. Kama means desire, raga means attachment. They also can be prompters of strength. But he says, in my strength, others should feel safe. Strength even could be intellectual strength. Sometimes if somebody is spent a lot of time, let's say, in some field, they will get good mastery over that field. That is also one kind of strength. But in that strength, others should not feel insecure. Bhagwan says, such kind of a person under whom people feel secure, that strength is me. Nothing wrong in having strength, but what kind of strength? That he is pointing out. Then finally he said, Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. I am that desire which is noble desire, which is in line with dharma. If somebody has such a desire, that desire I am. Recently I was discussing with one family. They said in today's times, the rituals that we did or our forefathers did, very small fraction children are able to do. So what is their support for being spiritual, turning mind to God? And it's a matter of fact, we cannot take ancient solutions and apply to modern problems. Even in economics, you cannot do that. Or to talk about spirituality. You see Bhagwan Krishna's foresight. He has given us most practical supports. He says if there is a youngster, first let him be ambitious. But make sure that his ambition is noble. It is in line with dharma. That ambition is God. That is the meaning of that verse. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu. Kamaha asmi. Kama is not an asura. Kama is a devata. When it is devoid of values, when it is against dharma, then it becomes asuri. By itself, Kama is creative power of the Lord. It is with this Kama alone, whole creation comes about. So meditate upon that ambition, meditate upon that desire as God. Somewhere he has to connect with God. So Bhagwan has given several vibhutis. If there are questions that you get, please do note it down. Last few minutes, we'll open it up and you can ask. Now Bhagwan says, Arjuna, as I said, really speaking, everything is born out of me. But in this next verse, 12th verse, he points out a lot of subtle things and a very important sadhana. Let us see what it is. Ye chaiva satvika bhavaha rajasas tamasaschaye matta eveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mai ye chaiva satvika bhavaha rajasas tamasaschaye matta eveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mai. Ye chaiva bhavaha. Bhavaha here refers to thoughts and objects. Bhavaha, don't take it as bhavana. Bhavaha here refers to whatever is manifest. Bhavati iti bhavaha. Thoughts and sense objects, worldly objects. Bhagwan, how many types of thoughts are there? How many types of objects are there? He doesn't start counting. Tree, plant, animal. He says only 3 types. Satvikaha, rajasaha, tamasaha. Thoughts and objects, either they will be satvik, or they will be rajasic, or they will be tamasic. In 3 he has covered this whole universe. Sattvic means those objects which give peace, those objects which give joy. Those are sattvic objects. If thought is sattvic, that person can gain knowledge clearly. This is a very unique concept. See how Bhagwan is introducing gunas. He says gunas are there inside us. Gunas are there outside us also. Inside us it manifests as thoughts. So sattvic thought, whenever it is there will be peace, joy, clarity in gaining knowledge. Objects outside, they will also be sattvic, means they will influence our mind to be of this nature. We'll see examples, but just note down the definition of sattvic. where there is peace, where there is joy, and clarity in gaining knowledge. Second one is Rajasic. What happens when mind is Rajasic? There is lot of dynamism. Mind is racing. That is a Rajasic state of mind that pushes us into activity. So the insignia of Rajasic is dynamism, activity, but it doesn't stop there. There is misapprehension also. I don't see things as they are. There is a greater chance for error in my judgment. That is Rajasic state of mind. People give example of Duryodhana, but it keeps happening to us every day. That he saw that puddle of water as marble, and he saw marble as puddle of water. First he saw marble and he thought it was puddle of water, raised his kurta and then he was walking. And some people laughed. Little bit further he went. He thought it was marble, but it was actually water. And he fell into that. Whole Mahabharata started. But the point is, Rajasic mind brings misapprehension. We don't see things as they are. Third one is Tamasic. Tamasic is ignorance. Ignorance or non-apprehension. Non-apprehension. I mean, there are some objects which make our mind like this, increase our ignorance, makes us totally not see anything, clouds our intellect. Another nature of Tamasic is dullness or inertia. Now you see, these things will go with objects also. You will have Sattvic objects, Rajasic objects which bring agitation to the mind, it brings misapprehension to the mind, and you will have some objects which make us more lethargic. So all addictive things, mind-altering things, they will fall under Tamasic. Now, Bhagavan what is saying? All the objects and thoughts which are Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, they are born from me. Now this question, somebody, if you tell this to a teenager, all things are born out of God only. Good and bad, both are born out of God. Then they say, then what is the harm in doing bad? You should don't listen only half. If somebody does something wrong, God alone presents as punishment. God alone manifests as punishment. When we say Narakaloka, is Narakaloka born out of God or not? It is also born out of God. Bhagavan is pointing out these gunas so that we can let go of tamas, let go of rajas, and focus on sattva. Okay, now some examples of how objects are sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. All of you must have heard the famous composition Akka Kelava. What does she say there? Akka Kelava nanunda kanasa kande. I have seen a dream. Oh friend, listen to me. What did I see in that dream? Akki adaki tenginakai. I saw rice, I saw betel nut, and I saw a coconut. Means what? The sight of that is an auspicious sight. And right after this, I woke up having seen the Lord. That is an example of Sattvic Darshanam. In fact, every ingredient which is used in our puja, you will find only Sattvic things there. There is one mantra for Shankha Puja, where they say, just sight of this Shankha gives so much purity. What to talk about touch, sparsha of the Shankha? The point is that object invokes sattva. So whenever we decorate something, this should be the thought process. What is it that we can do such that sattva guna is invoked? Even at home, when we arrange things, when we decorate, that is the thought. Even stone, there is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. The idol which is made in the temple, all stones are not used. There will be specific type of stones which will be used for the idol, because that has sattvic qualities. Games that we play, you will notice there are sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Chess, for example, is a good example of sattvic game. I'm always impressed, even if somebody loses the game, they discuss with the opponent how to do better next time. That's a sight to watch. After they have shaken the hands, next part is discussion on what went wrong. And they're competing against each other. Sattva. Okay, give me an example of Rajasic game. Cricket. Not test cricket. One day international maybe, 2020. Football, for example. So much dynamism. And if you are not in the right frame of mind, you can get into fights very easily. Tamasic game. Children won't like it, Video games. There is nothing good coming out of it. It is making the mind dull. Don't take anything out of context. What we are trying to understand is everything that we do falls under these three categories: sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Animals which are there. Cow, for example, is a sattvic animal. Horse is rajasic. They say horse sleeps standing. It can sleep standing. Wants to run the moment it gets a chance. When we study 18th chapter, we will discuss this. Tamasic animal, if you have seen a sloth, Zootopia, if you have seen, slowly it moves. Another example of tamasic animal is buffalo, Mahisha. So that divine mother who finishes negative tendency in the form of inertia is Mahishasura Mardini. So Tamoguna expresses as that buffalo. Bhagavan says just notice all these things. Why are we discussing? So that we can let go of tamas, let go of rajas, focus on sattva. If you see the story of Samudra Manthanam, you will notice all these three types of things came out. Kamadhenu cow, which quality will you put it under? Sattvic. Apsaras came, rajasic. Poison came out, halahala visha, tamasic. Okay, Bhagavan got it. Sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, all have come from you. Ye chaiva sattvika bhavaha, rajasaha, tamasaschaye. Then he says, matta eveti tanviti, know that they have come from me. Oh, so if they have come from you, that means you are in all of them. Bhagavan says no. They are in me, I am not in them. Look at the last quarter. Teshu aham na. I am not in those objects. Even sattvic objects you are not, he says yes. Neither sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, I am not in them. Te mai, they are in me. Olden days, to wake up the students, they would need some quarters like this. If a student is a little bit drowsy, he'll say, what did he say? Just now he said, everything has come from me. Now he is saying, I am not in them. How can it be? They are in me. What it means here is, I don't depend upon them for my existence. But they depend upon me for their existence. And when he is saying I, what is that I referring to? Pure consciousness. God's essential nature is consciousness. So he says, all these objects which have emerged from consciousness, they depend upon consciousness. If objects are not there, consciousness has nothing to lose. Consciousness doesn't depend upon objects. BMI chart, it's easy to appreciate. All the objects depend upon consciousness. Consciousness doesn't depend upon objects. Teshu aham na. In those objects, I am not. But they are in me. So what does he want to point out? Consciousness is independent of all objects. The best example for this is wave and water. Put water in place of consciousness, wave in place of objects. All waves depend upon water. Otherwise, you could find water in one place, wave in another place. The very fact they're inseparable means what? Wave depends upon water. But if wave is not there, water has nothing to lose. Water doesn't depend upon waves. Consciousness doesn't depend upon these objects. Now, what was the meaning of the word bhavaha? Thoughts and objects. Now, in place of thought, in place of objects, put thoughts. How will that sentence become? Thoughts depend upon consciousness. Consciousness doesn't depend upon thought. Whether thought is there, thought is not there. It doesn't affect consciousness. If thought is sattvic, beautiful wave is there. Water has nothing to do with it. Wave is ferocious. Rajasic thought is there. Water has nothing to do with it. Dull wave, little bit rising. Water has nothing to do with it. So sattvic, rajasic, tamasic thoughts, neither of them affect consciousness. This is our practice. There was one Mahatma Ji, Ram Sukdashi Maharaj. He would say, just like you take other vratam, that for 9 days I am going to fast. He says, you also take jnana vratam. That whenever thought comes, hold on to this understanding that I am unaffected by these thoughts. Let them come, let them go. As pure consciousness, these thoughts don't affect me. And it is law of the universe. Whatever we let go of, that thing lets go of us. Either it is sense object or thoughts. If I hold on to it, that thing holds on to me. If I let go of it, that thing lets go of me. So he says, don't feel afraid of thoughts. Sometimes thought might be of anger, thought might be of jealousy, greed, desire. The main understanding here is, I am not these thoughts. should I work on it or not? Sadhaka says, I will work on it as far as my sadhana is concerned. But it doesn't change fact. We will see this in Viveka Chudamani class also. When we do Avani Avatam, right, the thread changing, there is one japa that we do. Kamo Karshit mantra. Kamo Karshit, Manyura Karshit, Namo Namaha. It's a very beautiful meaning. The sadhaka is praying. He says, Bhagavan, I want to be free from desire and anger. So Bhagavan asks him, but what are these actions that are being done? Who is doing it? He says, Kamaha Akarshit. Desire did that action. Desire prompted that action. Manyuhu Akarshit. Anger prompted that action. As the pure self, I don't have anger, I don't have desire. That is where I want to go. O Bhagavan, lead me there. Then there is long sankalpa. So many lives I have taken, starting from cockroach, became another bird. Finally, I have become a human being. I don't know which punya karma got me here. Now may I not lose this opportunity. It's a very beautiful sankalpa, the way it is chanted. But idea is same. What doesn't belong to us, sadhaka says, may I not hold on to it. That is the meaning of the last quarter. Natvaham teshu te mayi. They depend upon me for their existence. I don't depend upon them for my existence. Now Arjuna must have asked, Bhagavan, if this is the case, everything has come from you, why don't people know you? Bhagavan says, what is the reason why we don't know this truth? Tribhir gunamayair bhavaihi ebhis sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhyah paramavyayam. Tribhir gunamayair bhavaihi ebhis sarvamidam jagate mohitam nabhijanati mamebhyah paramavyayam. Let us rearrange this shloka and understand. What is it that people don't know? Arjuna must be asking Bhagavan Krishna. Bhagavan, you keep saying people don't know me. What exactly do they not know about you? Because there are so many religions that speak about God. You are standing right next to me. I can see you, the blue boy of Vrindavan. What is it that we don't know about you? He says, Ebhyah param avyayam mam na abhijanati. They don't know me as unconditioned consciousness. Last quarter you see, Nabhijanati mamebhyah param avyayam. That supreme consciousness which is beyond these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, which forms all this plurality of this world. I am that pure consciousness which is beyond these gunas, unchanging consciousness. This they don't know. They feel I am somebody part of this creation. That there is creation, I have to find God in creation. And what is Bhagavan trying to say? I am not in creation, creation is in me. I am that pure consciousness in which this creation appears. He says this people don't know. Ebhyah param avyayam na abhijanati. They think I am part of this three gunas and this creation. Why do they not know this? Mohitam na abhijanati. Because they are deluded by these three gunas. Mohitam na abhijanati. That delusion is so strong that our mind gets stuck only with sattva, rajas, tamas. Doesn't allow us to go beyond. So if name and form becomes very attractive, we cannot go beyond that name and form. So if movie is very attractive, screen is not seen. Like that Bhagavan says, this creation is big movie. Mohitam na abhijanati. It is so glamorous that we don't see what is behind this creation, which is this truth. If somebody sees silver in shell and that person has love for silver, he can never see the shell. Like that, this world is glamorous silver. Very difficult to go beyond it. See the substratum, which is free from these three gunas. Mohitam na abhijanati. Because he doesn't know this truth, what is the cause of rajoguna? Misapprehension. Tamoguna was non-apprehension. We don't see it at all. But we don't stop there. We don't see the truth, but we see something else. So something else is this world of names and forms. Bhagavan, every effect should have a cause. So if people are deluded, what is deluding them? Whom should we hold guilty? इस साजिश का जिम्मेदार कौन है? Who is responsible? Tribir gunamayehi bhavehi mohitam. The three gunas of Maya, they are responsible for the delusion which comes to all human beings. Bhagavan, I don't understand what is Maya. Next verse, he will say. Wait, not yet. He'll define what is Maya. But in other places, lot of description is there. So we'll try to understand. But what is he trying to point out here? That whenever our mind is strongly colored by gunas, if rajoguna is there, pride comes, anger comes, it covers the truth for us. That is the result of these gunas. There is a story of Indra and Virochana both going to Brahmaji. Brahmaji's declaration is, I am going to give immortality. Whoever wants can come. Indra goes, and Virochana, who is king of Asuras, he comes to know that Indra has gone. So just because Indra has gone, he says, I am not anybody inferior, I am nothing less. I also will go. So he goes. Brahmaji's first teaching is, what is seen in the right eye is the truth. Only that much. He says, you reflect, you decide what is the interpretation. Virochana sees in the eye of Indra. What does he see in the eye? His own body. And he says, body is the truth. Body is whole and soul of human life. And he says, I got it. Brahmaji had said, you reflect, if you have questions, you come back. Virochana says, nothing more to ask, I understood. And it is said he comes down and propagates materialistic philosophy. Charvaka Darshana. The absolute goal of life is to take care of this body. If one's body is gone, there is nothing more. Why look for anything else? But the point here is how Rajoguna clouds our knowledge, our ability to learn. So Bhagavan says, Tribir Gunamayehi Bhavaihi. Until objects look bright, reality is out of sight. Until objects look bright, he says reality is out of sight. You know, when you go to buy a car, we call that car by different names. This is Tesla, this is something else. The people in the store call it as metal. The term that the people use there, we need to move the metal out so we can get space for new inventory. Do you appreciate the difference? One person calls it as car, another person sees tattva there. But whenever that name and form is attractive, tattva is not seen, essence is not seen. Even with music, if our attention is on music, it is difficult to pay attention to sound, difficult to pay attention to silence. Bhagavan says that is what is happening. What do we not know about God? His essential nature as pure consciousness. Why do we not know it? Because of delusion. Who caused this delusion? Maya, which is made up of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Okay, Bhagavan, who all are deluded? Few people, some parts of the world they are deluded. Sarvam idam jagat mohitam. Look at the first line. Tribhir gunamayehi bhavaihi ebhi sarvam idam jagat. Whole world, our understanding is colored by three gunas. Kabir Das Ji says, if it was one or two people, I could go and tell them. Ikadui hui to tehi samajhao. Sab jaga andha me kehi samajhao. He says, whole world is deluded. Whom should I go and tell that there is this truth? The colloquial phrase for that is, there is intoxicant which has fallen in the well. Bhang. Whole village drinks water from that same well. And everybody feels we are okay. That one Mahatma who is staying there, he is crazy. Always he says, look beyond this world, look beyond this. Kuए mein bhang padi hai. That is the phrase. Now, okay, Bhagavan, you told what is the problem. Mohitam, that is the problem. You also mentioned what is causing that moha, maya. Can you make it more precise? I like precise problem, precise solution. Bhagavan says, yes, fine tuning. Daivi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya me tam taranti te Daivi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya me tam taranti te. These are very important words. The beauty of Bhagavan Krishna is his simplicity. Same words if you read in Vedanta Sara, it looks so heavy. Bhagavan sweetens it and he says, okay, I will tell you what is Maya. So we have to note down the qualities of Maya. First one he says, it is Daivi. Daivi means it takes support from consciousness. It is not independent. It exists in Chaitanya. In devotional terms we say, Maya is the creative power of the Lord. That is why Shiva and Shakti will be together. Shakti represents the Maya part, Shiva represents consciousness part. You know that story of Vidyadhara, who gets cursed to become Vritrasura. What is the background of that? He sees Lord Shiva giving teaching with Parvati ji sitting on his lap. And he says, Esha Loka Guru. This is the Loka Guru. And Parvati ji gets angry at him, curses him to become Rutrasura. But he was a great devotee of the Lord. That's why he does beautiful stuti. And Bhagavan Krishna takes avatar to finish him. But the point is, Parvati ji is telling him, if three gunas, Trigunatmika Maya, if it doesn't reside in Chaitanya, where else will you see it? Where else will it reside? So Maya is always supported by consciousness. Chaitanya Ashrita, that is given by the word Daivi. Then Hyesha is there. How will you split that Hyesha? He plus Esha. So he also means something. He means this Maya is known through postulation. You cannot see Maya. Postulation. In Sanskrit, the word is Arthapatti Pramana. Arthapatti. Example will make it clear. Huh? If you want to scare somebody, you use these heavy words. Arthapatti means if you wake up in the morning and you see your driveway is drenched, road is drenched, garden is drenched, means it is wet, and whole neighborhood is wet. What is the conclusion you will come to? It must have rained at night. Definitely it must have rained at night. So the cause effect is very strong. But did you see the rain? You say, no, I did not see it. Such kind of result is not possible unless it would have rained last night. That is called as postulation, Arthapatti Pramana. Cause effect is very strong. So we are seeing this world which has three gunas. We are seeing this world which is appearing so different from consciousness. So Arthapatti Pramana will say, such kind of result is possible only if there is something called as Maya at the root. Okay, so how will we know Maya? Can we see Maya? Not through physical eyes, because eyes are also product of Maya. What we are seeing is also Maya. So can we see those through three gunas? We cannot see them. We can only infer. Oh, that is called as postulation, which is the meaning of the word he. Then what is the next word? Esha. Esha means something which is very immediate. We use the word Saha. Saha Ramaha. Rama is that person. What is Eshaha Ramaha? This person who is right next to me, this is Rama. Like that, Bhagavan is telling, Esha Maya means it is so close to us, we cannot deny its existence. Right here, we can see the result of Maya. Okay, three things we saw, huh? Daivi, he, Esha. Fourth, he says it is Gunamayi. Gunamayi means Maya is three gunas. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Those three together is called as Maya. Not that there is somebody who has these three gunas. Although it is dramatized, there is some lady called as Maya who is holding a rope in her hand. And she comes and puts it. Kabir Das has written one song. Maya Maha Thagni Hamajani. He says, Tiruguna phasa liye kar dole. She is holding that phasa of three gunas. Bole madhuri bani. very sweet speech, but she will catch us. But that is just portrayal. What it means is, three gunas themselves are called as Maya. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Then Bhagwan says, Mama Maya Duratyaya. This Maya of mine is very difficult to cross over. You free yourself from Tamas, you will get stuck in Rajas. Free yourself from Rajas, can get stuck in Sattva, but remain within the cycle of Maya. Who can be free? Mame vaye prapadyante, Maya metam tarantite. Those who exclusively seek me, constantly turn attention towards the self, they will be freed from snares of Maya. Ramakrishna Paramhansa says, we should become magician's helper. We will not get deluded by magician's trick. Helper knows exactly what the magician is doing. So you can take it from devotional standpoint also. One who seeks God intensely. That's why the word eva is given. Mam eva. Seeks God alone. That person eventually is freed from the bondage of Maya. Okay, we just saw the literal meaning of this verse. There are more topics we will see in the next session, but we'll pause for any questions, thoughts. There are 2 mics on both sides. You can come to either and share your question. Shubharambha.
Hari Om Guruji.
You can call me Soham Ji, Swamiji, Guruji, all are specific titles. They'll get very confused.
So you mentioned about this briefly.
Little louder, I can't hear
you. You mentioned about this briefly. Kamo Karshit Namo Nama, Manyura Karshit Namo Nama. For Kama, you mentioned Dharma Aviruddho. Kama is Bhagavan. Like that, can you give an example of Manu also? Because Manu is also worshipped as God. Thank you, Guruji.
What is dharmic anger? In Bhagavad Geeta class yesterday, we were seeing about amanitvam. Amanitvam means humility. But humility is not low self-esteem or if there is something where your Shraddheya is targeted, your altar of faith is targeted, then there is a healthy anger of protecting that Shraddheya. So Gurudev calls it as showing anger versus getting angry. He says both are different. If that altar is something higher, then a person can show anger and it will not bind him because it is not selfish. So if music is the altar, let us say, and somebody says something towards your altar of faith, then it becomes a responsibility to respond appropriately. The best example for this is anger of Lakshmanji. He gets very angry, but he calms it down also very quickly. So when Janak Maharaj says, there is no brave person on this earth left anymore, he says, when Raghuvamshis are there, how can you say such a statement? So his altar of faith is his Kula, Raghuvamshi. Okay, that is Manu. Okay. If there are no questions, I will continue. We don't need to have this. I thought most of you would ask something after the class. It is good you ask during. And basic questions are most welcome, okay? Don't feel it has to be some philosophical, this one or that one, whichever one.
Hari Om, Somji. You said basic questions are welcome.
Yes.
So. You mentioned it was okay to have desire or ambition if it is in line with dharma. So that was comforting. But how do we meditate on desire or ambition as God? Because we're used to meditating on God and we're used to asking God to fulfill the desire. But relating desire to God, how do we do that?
The thought here is, again, the verse that Bhagavan mentioned previously, where he says, everything in this universe has come from me only. I am not one part of this creation, but all things have come from me. One of the things which has come is kama. So support what we take for meditation has to be endorsed by scriptures. So over here, that support that Bhagavan is giving is noble desire. One of the things in Upasana is, it is strongly based on faith. There is not much reasoning needed. For example, if somebody says, in Shaligrama, see Vishnu. Now that is Upasana. And it is strongly rooted in faith. Person says, this is what is the advice, I will go ahead and do it. Now it's hard to say, why should we see Vishnu only in Shaligrama? You can give some reason, because it is found in banks of Narmadaji and some story might be there that is, connected with Puranic story. But the essential thing is, whatever support is given in Shastra, that becomes our anchor for meditation. How to see it? Very simple. First, think about what is my understanding of God. So for this, it is helpful to take nature of God. Is Bhagavan, in my understanding, little knowing or all knowing? All knowing. Means everything of this creation, he has clear knowledge of how it has to run. Is Bhagavan's strength limited strength or infinite strength? Infinite strength. So like this, we have to think, what is our understanding of God? Now that God whom we have understood that way, see that Bhagavan in this altar. That's why the example given for Upasana is national flag. What are the qualities that come to mind when we think about nation? Patriotism, what that nation has given to us, how it has protected us, given opportunity to grow. Now all these emotions, it has to be seen somewhere. You need some anchor to see it. Then they say this flag is that anchor. Is flag the nation? Not directly. But flag can become my support to think about nation. Like that, desire, noble desire, is my support to think about God. Okay, so that is Upasana Siddhanta, based more on faith. Okay, one question we can do, Ramaji. Is yours a quick question? Then maybe after that we can do. Next session I would encourage, if you can line up before, so we can plan our time well. Okay, yes.
Hari Om Sohamji. You said people are deluded by the three gunas. How are people deluded by sattvic gunas?
I am a sattvic person is golden chain bondage. I am rajasic, tamasic person is iron chain bondage. Both are chains. And Upanishads want to tell us, you are not a person, you are that infinite consciousness, thinking yourself to be this person. So even Sattva Guna, as long as it brings knowledge, it will free us. if my definition of myself becomes as a sattvic person, samsara will still remain. Okay? Please come. And one more thing while he's walking, this gunas is, you cannot remain in sattva all the time.
Hari Om Sohamji. So you mentioned that thoughts and objects are not in me, I am in them, so that part is clear. Verse 12, thoughts and objects are in me, I am not in them.
I'm not in them.
Verse 12 also says that as far as the gunas are concerned, neither do the gunas exist in me, nor do I exist in them. So that
Which
seems
verse
a little. Verse 12. The last part of verse
Last
12.
part,
Yeah.
what does it say?
So it says neither
Teshu na aham. In those objects, I am not there. But te mai, those objects are in me. What is
Okay.
the question?
I thought literally translated as neither do the gunas exist in me, nor do I exist in them.
That will come later, 9th chapter.
Okay.
Okay. Bhagavan is taking a step by step. See, Upasana Prakaranam, he says, don't negate the world completely yet. Keep the world, see me in the world. So that part will come later, we'll discuss when it comes. We will have short announcements. Please remain seated until the announcements are done. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.